So let's talk about this Trump business, shall we? It is indictment number 4. That is after the allegations that he paid off Stormy Daniels with campaign finance money, the Mar-a-Lago raid. Then we got the January the 6th trial. And now finally, the 4th one today, Georgia. The allegations in Georgia are interesting for a few reasons, really. If you consider the myriad, the backdrop, the context of Trump's many legal entanglements, this one is still quite interesting, even in isolation, because this is the one that is being prosecuted under state law, not federal. Now, if you look at January the 6th, if that's being prosecuted under federal law, there is a reasonable chance that if Donald Trump were to become president again next year, he could, in theory, legally pardon himself. Even like if he's been prosecuted and then convicted and jailed for 20 years, if he's then elected president, he can go, I don't think that, I'll just pardon. Like, as egregious and insulting as that sounds, it would be such an assault on American democracy. But if you look back at the footage of him, January the 6th, and the backdrop of this riot taking place, people getting injured, people invading the Capitol, and what's he doing? He's standing there behind a podium going, you fight like hell, you don't concede, we never concede, you know? So I think the guy's capable of, absolutely capable of pardoning himself, if it serves his interest to A, keep him in the White House, and B, free him. The second reason this is interesting is the effect that it's going to have on his campaigning, because he's in the run-up to the Republican primaries right now. He wants to be their candidate for the next election. But his entire rhetoric, his narrative that he's spinning, is one around him being oppressed. They're coming for me. I'm being persecuted. Look. But the court in Georgia, the district attorney is a lady called Fani Willis, and she's saying there is a limit to what you can talk about in public for obvious reasons. You can't jeopardize the trial. We don't want you talking about witnesses, about evidence. He's saying, nah, you can't do any of that. That's my First Amendment rights. It's freedom of speech. I can say anything I like. They're saying you're going to end up holding the court in contempt. We could jail you just for that. He's saying, I can still talk about whatever. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if he carries on down this route and potentially lands himself in jail before the conclusion of the trial has even happened. Now, somewhat predictably, Trump has shown himself to have zero appetite for tempering his temper. In fact, twice now on his network, Truth Social, he's put posts up that could definitely be construed as being in the arena of witness intimidation. And if they are found to be so, then forget before the trial concludes. He could find himself in a jail cell before the trial even starts.